Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started.
Jimmy Uso might have dropped a major hint at what's in store for him after. Roman Reigns curiously ignored him on WWE Raw by only hyping up Jey Uso. Jimmy has now shared a couple of cryptic stories on Instagram, hinting that he and his brother, Jey, might be pitted against each other down the line. The tribal chief returned to Raw after a few weeks of absence to take out the Vision's Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker after they began a post-match assault following their loss to the USOs. The most surprising thing about the angle was how Reigns snubbed Jimmy Uso and only embraced and hyped up Jey Uso. Jimmy stood at a distance from the two with slight displeasure evident on his face. Since then, fans have been wondering if this could mean Jimmy going his own way. He has now further fueled these rumors with his recent Instagram activity. A few hours ago, Jimmy Uso shared a picture of himself and Jey Uso in two separate stories, which, when viewed back-to-back, appeared to show the two were pitted against each other. Check out the former Bloodline member's story below. Vince Russo is unhappy about how Roman Reigns returned to WWE. Speaking on Sportskeeda's Legion of Raw, Vince Russo didn't hold back before blasting WWE for booking Reigns' return just for a cheap pop. Russo feels the angle accomplished nothing and instead robbed the Vision of their credibility, as they not only lost to the USOs, but were also beaten down after the match. On top of all that, you're going to bring him in for the pop, and you're going to completely take all the heat, any steam you had on the heels whatsoever. We're going to beat Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, and the USOs beat them, and now the heels have absolutely no heat. So what did you do, bro? You satisfied the pop for the marks, and now you've totally again, okay? Now let's start all over with Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. Let's go through 6 weeks of tsunamis to get the heat back. The booking is so horrible and clueless and cringe, Russo said. It remains to be seen what the company has in store now, as the events on WWE Raw have certainly got the fans buzzing about the USOs and Reigns' future. The Bloodline saga in WWE has been one of the most captivating storylines in recent years. From betrayals and shocking turns to emotional family rivalries, it has kept fans glued to their screens. Roman Reigns, as the centerpiece of this family empire, has commanded loyalty, power, and dominance. But in recent weeks, cracks have begun to widen in the foundation of the Bloodline. And the tension reached another level on WWE Raw when Roman Reigns seemingly ignored his cousin Jimmy Uso. That's cold shoulder has not only fueled speculation about where Jimmy stands in the family, but also led him to subtly confirm his future in WWE, while nothing was said outright. His actions, reactions, and presence in backstage segments all painted a clear picture of where Jimmy Uso is heading next. Let's dive deeper into what happened, why Roman ignored him, and what Jimmy's future now looks like. Roman Reigns' return and cold shoulder to Jimmy Uso. Roman Reigns' long-awaited return to Raw had the WWE Universe buzzing. Fans expected him to bring back the authority and dominance that only the tribal chief can deliver. But while his return sparked shockwaves, it was also his silence and body language that told a bigger story. When Jimmy Uso attempted to approach Roman during the backstage segments, fans noticed that Roman neither acknowledged him nor responded with his usual sense of control. Instead, he focused more on Paul Heyman and even sent subtle glances toward Jey Uso, Jimmy's twin brother, who has been at odds with the Bloodline for months. For Jimmy, this wasn't just a snub, it was a message. Roman ignoring him signaled that his role in the Bloodline's future might be shrinking, or worse. Over Jimmy Uso's subtle confirmation, Jimmy Uso didn't cut a promo or make an announcement. But WWE fans are experts at reading between the lines. After being ignored, Jimmy appeared frustrated, yet composed. Instead of causing a scene or pleading for attention, he walked away calmly and later delivered a cryptic statement in a short interview. "Sometimes family doesn't see you. Sometimes you've got to show them what they missed." This single line said more than a long promo ever could. It was Jimmy Uso's subtle confirmation that he sees his future outside Roman's shadow. It wasn't just frustration, it was determination. Why Roman ignored Roman Reigns. It's always been portrayed as a calculating leader. He doesn't waste actions or words. Every look, every snub, and every promo is part of his psychological control over the bloodline. By ignoring Jimmy, Roman might be sending multiple messages. Jimmy's betrayal isn't forgotten. Fans will recall that Jimmy once betrayed Roman and sided with Jey during the bloodline's early cracks. Roman may not trust him fully. Favoritism toward Jey. Roman has always seen Jey as main event Jey Uso, someone who could carry the bloodline if needed. By ignoring Jimmy, he might be highlighting Jey's importance and belittling Jimmy's. Pushing Jimmy to make a move, Roman is a master manipulator. By ignoring Jimmy, he might be baiting him into proving his worth either by betraying someone, attacking a rival, or forcing his way back into relevance. Jimmy Uso's future directions, now that Jimmy has subtly confirmed he won't just sit quietly. The question is, what's next for him? Here are some possible directions WWE might take his character. 1. Jimmy goes solo for years. Jimmy and Jey Uso have been synonymous with tag team wrestling. But after Roman ignored him, Jimmy might finally break out as a single star. His promo hinted that he wants to show people what they missed. A singles run, whether on Raw or SmackDown, could establish him as more than just Jey's twin. 2. Jimmy turns on the bloodline. Of the strongest possibilities is that Jimmy officially turns his back on Roman and Solo Sikoa. This could set up a feud where Jimmy aligns with Jey against Roman's empire. A reunited USO brothers versus the bloodline storyline would be explosive and emotionally charged. 3. Jimmy joins another faction if Jimmy truly feels sidelined. He could make a shocking move by joining another faction. Whether it's Judgment Day, Imperium, or even forming his own crew. This would be a way to escape Roman's control and start fresh. 4. Jimmy becomes. The forgotten USO heel. A darker twist could see Jimmy lean into the idea of being overshadowed. Instead of seeking redemption, he could embrace bitterness, targeting not only Roman, but also Jey. Imagine Jimmy attacking his own twin out of jealousy would add a heartbreaking twist to the bloodline saga. Fan reactions to the snub. The WWE Universe wasted no time reacting online to Roman ignoring Jimmy. Social media platforms lit up with speculation, memes, and predictions. Some fans sympathize with Jimmy, saying he deserves better after years of loyalty. Others pointed out that this could be the perfect way to push Jimmy into a bigger spotlight. Tweets like Jimmy Uso about to cook as a solo star and Roman treating Jimmy like an afterthought is brilliant storytelling. Trended during Raw. Clearly, fans are invested in what comes next. The long-term storytelling WWE has been known to play the long game with. The bloodline storyline. Roman Reigns ignoring Jimmy isn't a throwaway moment. It's a seed planted for a future payoff. Whether it's at Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, or even WrestleMania, this subtle conflict could blossom into a major storyline. Jimmy's calm yet determined demeanor suggests he won't lash out immediately. Instead, he might bide his time, waiting for the right moment to strike or to align with the right people. This patience could make his eventual move even more impactful. Jimmy Uso's legacy at stake for Jimmy Uso. This is more than just a storyline, it's about legacy. While Jey Uso has often been spotlighted as the main event talent, Jimmy has always been reliable, charismatic, and skilled. Yet, he's often been overshadowed. Roman ignoring him on Raw only reinforces that perception. Now, Jimmy has the chance to rewrite his legacy. By subtly confirming his future and showing fans that he won't accept being overlooked, he could cement himself as a star who deserves recognition. Jimmy Uso being ignored by Roman Reigns on WWE Raw may have seemed like a small moment, but in the grand narrative of the bloodline, it's massive. It was more than just silence, it was a message. And Jimmy's subtle response confirmed what many fans have suspected. He's preparing for a new chapter, whether that chapter sees him as a singles competitor, a rival to the bloodline, or a darker version of himself. One thing is clear: Jimmy Uso is no longer content with being ignored. His future has been set in motion, and the WWE Universe will be watching closely as the story unfolds. Roman Reigns may not have given Jimmy Uso his attention, but the WWE fans surely have. And that attention might just be the fuel Jimmy needs to rise higher than ever before.